During the Second World War, Germany deployed one of the most mechanized military forces the world had ever seen. From lightning-fast armored cars to massive siege weapons, the Wehrmacht and its supporting branches fielded an extraordinary array of vehicles across every theater of combat. This examination covers the tanks, destroyers, artillery platforms, transport vehicles, and specialized equipment that formed the backbone of German mechanized warfare between 1939 and 1945. The foundation of German armored doctrine rested on its main battle tanks. The Panzer I entered service a training platform, but found itself thrust into actual combat during the Polish and French campaigns. With only machine gun armament and minimal protection, it depended on mobility rather than firepower. The Panzer II served as an interim solution, carrying a 20mm autocannon that proved effective against soft targets. Though it became obsolete as a front-line fighter, its chassis found new purpose in supporting roles. Following the occupation of Czechoslovakia, Germany acquired the Panzer 35T, a well-engineered design featuring pneumatic transmission systems. The Panzer 38T represented another Czech contribution, offering reliability and sufficient firepower through its 37mm main gun. Both Czech designs proved their worth in the early campaigns, and their chassis later supported various specialized variants. The Panzer III emerged as Germany's dedicated tank fighter, incorporating a three-man turret arrangement that improved operational efficiency. Though its armament eventually proved inadequate against Soviet heavy armor, it established crew layout standards that influenced later designs. The Panzer IV became the true mainstay of German armor, remaining in continuous production from the war's beginning to its end. Repeatedly upgraded with better guns and additional protection, it served on every front from the Atlantic Wall to the Caucasus. The Panzer V Panther arose as a direct response to encounters with Soviet T-34 tanks. Combining sloped armor, excellent mobility, and a powerful 75mm high-velocity gun, it overcame initial mechanical problems to become one of the war's most formidable medium tanks. The Tiger I heavy tank earned its fearsome reputation through thick armor and the legendary 88mm gun that could engage targets at extreme ranges. Despite maintenance demands and strategic mobility limitations, it dominated battlefields when properly deployed. The Tiger II pushed heavy tank design to its ultimate extreme, mounting the Panther's sloped armor concept on a 70-ton chassis. While nearly invulnerable from frontal angles, its immense weight created logistical challenges and strained available engines. Germany produced an extensive range of turretless fighting vehicles optimized for specific combat roles. The Sturmgeschütz III removed the turret from the Panzer III chassis to create a low-profile assault gun that became Germany's most numerous armored vehicle. Its combination of adequate firepower and ease of production made it invaluable for infantry support and defensive operations. The Jagdpanzer 38T Hetzer utilized the Czech 38T chassis to mount a compact, angular superstructure with sloped armor and a 75mm gun. Small and difficult to detect, it proved cost-effective and dangerous in ambush scenarios. The Jagdpanzer IV carried the long-barreled 75mm gun in a sleek, low-mounted superstructure that earned comparisons to waterfowl to its front-heavy appearance. Desperation and pragmatism drove the creation of vehicles like the Marder II and Marder III, which mounted captured Soviet guns or German anti-tank weapons on obsolete tank chassis. These open-topped conversions provided urgently needed firepower despite leaving crews exposed. The Nation mounted an 88mm gun on a lightly armored chassis, sacrificing protection for the ability to destroy enemy armor from standoff distances. The Jagdpanther combined the Panther chassis with an 88mm gun in a well-armored casemate, creating what many consider the war's finest tank destroyer. The Ferdinand, later modified and renamed Elephant, mounted powerful armament on rejected Porsche Tiger hulls but suffered from mechanical complexity and initially lacked close defense weapons. The Jagdtiger represented the ultimate expression of German tank destroyer philosophy, carrying a 128mm gun on a super-heavy chassis that proved too cumbersome for practical field service. Self-propelled artillery gave German forces mobile fire support capability. The Westby converted Panzer to chassis into light howitzer carriers that could maintain pace with advancing armor. The Hummel mounted heavier 150mm guns on hybrid chassis, delivering devastating indirect fire. Specialized urban combat vehicles included the Sturmpanzer for Brummbär, with its thick armor and short-barreled gun designed for reducing fortifications, and the rare Jagdtiger, which fired massive rocket-propelled projectiles intended to demolish entire buildings. Anti-aircraft defense evolved through vehicles like the WWII, mounting quad 20mm guns in an open turret that created devastating fire curtains against aircraft and ground targets alike. The Ostwind improved on this concept with a single 37mm weapon offering greater range and hitting power. Germany's half-track family provided essential mobility for mechanized infantry and logistics. The Sd.Kfz 251 Hanomag became the iconic personnel carrier, ferrying troops alongside tanks with adequate protection and cross-country capability. The smaller Sd.Kfz 250 served reconnaissance and command functions. Heavy prime movers like the Sd.Kfz 7 towed artillery pieces, including the famous 88mm flak gun, while the massive Sd.Kfz 9 Fama recovered disabled tanks under combat conditions. Wheeled reconnaissance vehicles ranged from the four-wheeled Sd.Kfz 220 scout car to the sophisticated eight-wheeled Sd.Kfz 231, which featured dual driving positions for rapid reversing. The Sd.Kfz 234 Puma represented the pinnacle of armored car design, mounting a 50mm gun in a fully enclosed turret with excellent speed and protection. Standard logistics depended on trucks like the ubiquitous Opel Blitz, which hauled supplies across every theater. The Eastern Front's brutal conditions prompted specialized solutions, including the fully tracked RSO tractor and the Opel Maltier, which replaced rear wheels with track assemblies for improved traction in mud and snow. Specialized equipment included the Schwimmwagen amphibious vehicle, allowing water crossings without engineering support. The Goliath remote-controlled demolition vehicle represented an early attempt at unmanned ground systems, though its trailing control wire proved vulnerable. Heavy siege weapons like the Karlgert self-propelled mortar could reduce the most formidable fortifications, but required extensive support infrastructure. This mechanized arsenal reflected both German industrial capability and the evolving demands of total war. From the rushed improvisations of the early campaigns to the over-engineered giants of the final years, these vehicles shaped armored warfare's development and remain subjects of continued historical study.